Well, Hamas has named its Gaza leader, Yahya Sinwar, as its new political bureau chief. Sinwar will be the successor to former political chief Ismail Haniyeh, who was assassinated in Tehran last week. The Hamas group announced the selection of Commander Yahya Sinwar in a brief statement. Sinwar is viewed as the mastermind behind the October 7th attacks on Israel by Hamas, in which more than 1,100 people were killed and over 200 others taken captive. Since then, he has gone largely unseen. The architect of the attack has been in hiding in Gaza, defying Israeli attempts to kill him. Yahya Sinwar was born in a refugee camp in the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis. He became the leader of Hamas in Gaza in 2017. But his appointment to the top post now comes in and as an indicator of the position that Gaza holds in the group's political vision. Analysts say this choice puts Gaza front and center in the Hamas movement, not just in terms of the events on the grounds, but also politically. Sinwar will now call the shots on a ceasefire deal, and Israel needs to face him for a solution to the war. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has also said that Sinwar will be the primary decider on the ceasefire, emphasizing that the United States has communicated to both Iran and Israel that conflict must not escalate. Blinken also said talks to achieve a ceasefire and hostage deal have reached their final stage.
With regard to Mr. Sinwar, he has been and remains the primary decider when it comes to concluding a ceasefire. And so I think this only underscores the fact that it is really on him to decide whether to move forward with a ceasefire.
Now, in this choice that is set to determine the group's future, other Hamas leaders who were seen as potential replacements for Haniyeh have lost out. The most significant of them was Khalid Mishal. The former leader led Hamas for 13 years from outside the Palestinian territories until passing the baton to Haniyeh in 2017. But the movement appears united around the choice of Sinwar. According to reports, Mishal has backed Yahya Sinwar in loyalty to Gaza and its people. Lebanon's Hezbollah group has also welcomed his appointment, calling it a strong message to Israel and the U.S. Meanwhile, Israel's military spokesperson Daniel Hagari has said that there is only one place for Yahya Sinwar next to the other militants behind the October 7th attack, who have already been killed.
Yahya Sinwar is an archi-terrorist responsible for one of the most horrible terror acts in history, the 7th of October. There is only one place for Yahya Sinwar. It's next to Muhammad Def, next to Randur, next to Ayman Nofel, next to all the terrorists that were responsible for the 7th of October. This is the only place we are planning for Yahya Sinwar.
Amid Sinwar's appointment, Israel is not only continuing with its warnings but also its offensive. In Deir al-Bala in central Gaza, the 3 Israeli missiles hit near a mosque, wounding dozens of people. Residents said Israeli tanks shelling also continued overnight in Burej al-Maghazi and in Nuseirat. Israeli military said its forces killed 45 Palestinian fighters in Gaza over the past day. And for more on this, we spoke to our correspondent Jody Cohen earlier in the day. We asked what the appointment of Yahya Sinwar means for the hostage and truce negotiation.
Right, so a Hamas official has said that Sinwar's appointment is a strong message of resistance. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said that hostage truce talks are at the final stage and that Sinwar has the power to ensure a ceasefire deal is reached, halting the war in Gaza and freeing the hostages. However, we know that Sinwar has been against the deal, so it remains to be seen if he would agree. Sinwar was the head of Hamas in Gaza. He's considered the mastermind of Hamas's 7th of October massacre in Israel and the taking of the hostages. Now, Prime Minister Netanyahu has suggested that his strategy is to put as much pressure on Hamas as possible in order to get Hamas to agree to a deal, which Israel says is what happened last time there was a deal. Now, commentators are saying that Israel is ratcheting up the pressure, saying that Sinwar is next on Israel's target list with IDF spokesperson Daniel Hagari saying that the only place for Sinwar is beside assassinated Hamas military chief Mohammed Deif. And Israel has indicated that Iran's imminent attack on Israel could delay any hostage truce agreement.
And in fact, we further asked Jody to explain the situation on the ground, with Israel waiting for Iran and its proxies for a planned attack.
So residents of northern Israel have been told to stay near shelters, and that's after drone and rocket barrages which left several people in hospital. Hezbollah claims responsibility but said that their reprisal for the killing of Commander Shukar, remember that's Hezbollah's number 2, is still to come. And a Hezbollah-linked newspaper has suggested that we could see a strike in central Israel. Now, the IDF has said that they struck Hezbollah operatives in southern Lebanon. Israeli warplanes also created a major sonic boom over Beirut just before Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah addressed the country on television. Now, Nasrallah said that Israel is right to fear the attack from the axis of resistance. He said that the uncertainty over the timing of their attack is part of what he called Israel's punishment. Meanwhile, the US have deployed fighter jets to the region to help defend Israel. Jordan and Egypt have closed their airspace to Israel and Iran. And on Wednesday, Iran has called an emergency meeting of the Organization for Islamic Cooperation to try to seek support for Iran's attack against Israel.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.